Good morning, everybody. This is Matt with the Low Cash Homestead, and we are looking down my well. Let's talk about why we're looking down my well. First, I'm going to give you some well details. This well is 600 feet down into the bedrock. The pump is somewhere around 350. DNR, Department of Natural Resources, which as of I think 2010 started recording well information. According to them, it's 600 some odd feet down into the bedrock, can produce 30 gallons per minute. We are pumping 5 gallons a minute, so I'm pumping 1/6 of what DNR claims that this well can do. Here's our little not charge controller, but our little well controller. It has a little bit of circuitry and a capacitor. I'm not going to get into pulling that cover off. So the question is, why is my well cover off, and why am I pointing a camera at it? Well, the reason is we live on a bunch of reclaimed cattle land. I have cattle ranchers and cattle farmers all around me. What does that mean? Well, I have to shock my well. Once a month I have to shock my well. And this isn't necessarily a requirement from my district or my county or my local government or anything. It's actually a requirement for another reason, which I'm not going to get into. But I do have this water tested at least once a year, and the recommendation has been to shock it once a month. So how are you going to shock it? Well, I'm going to use these. I've been using these for a while. It's Pool Essentials 1-inch chlorinating tablets. They work quite well. And for my well, like I said, this is 600 feet down. You will never hear it splash, but you might hear a ping. Kind of bounces around. The first 150 feet of this are the 6-inch PVC. So let's drop it, and maybe you'll hear it bounce around in there. Once you hear it stop bouncing, it's not hitting PVC anymore, it's just dropping right down through the bedrock. Here goes the second one. Yep, it just stopped ringing. And then the third. And there she goes. 3 typically does it. And then what we'll do is, we have quite a bit of filtration here. But anytime I do this, what will happen is, given a day or so, it will deplete the carbon inside the first of the filters in the garage. And so we'll have to change that probably by the end of the week. I'll have to change that. And I don't know exactly what it's going to do to the RO. We did do a complete cartridge and membrane change on the RO recently. They say every 6 months on the canister cartridges, and every year on the membrane and post carbon. But I just went ahead and changed them all anyway. Another thing that's going to happen by dropping these chlorine tablets down in there is we have a lot of mineral in our water, and it's going to hyperoxidize that well, and it's also going to force some of that ferrous iron to convert to ferric iron inside the well. So it should drop a lot of the ferric, which is the red iron, ferric as in IC, the iron you can see, the iron you can IC. So it will probably convert a decent chunk of that iron and some of the other heavy metals that we, not heavy metals, but metals. There's magnesium and manganese and all the good stuff that's in rock, right? Lime, iron, all of those things. So it will oxidize those and cause some of them to drop down through the rock structure. So we'll get less particulate in the initial pump, but we will also deplete the carbon in that initial pump much faster, because we're going to have this heavy dose of chlorine in there. And for the commercially manufactured carbon impregnated ones, it's not like dumping it through charcoal. Believe me, if I had a giant charcoal cylinder that was, chunks of charcoal like I make here, or maybe even if you were to buy it, then that'd be a different story. Okay, so we dropped those in. I'm going to put the box back and the lid back on, and then I'm going to check on a couple other little things out here. This is Matt with the Low Cash Homestead. Thank you very much. Have a good day.